I just heard that swallow and I was like, okay. All right, let's try again. You should probably just leave the top off so that you can.
You're right. You're right. Let me just take it off.
I'll do this. I'll do this. Okay, sorry, Dan.
My bad.
Okay, here we go. 8 seconds of silence on point two. Here we go.
There was a whole DJ in the street. I had to go close every window. Like I could
Oh
hear
shit.
Latin vibes, man. Okay. Sorry,
Yes.
Dan.
Okay, here we go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Made with Intention. We're two women sharing our expertise in entrepreneurship, discussing life lessons, and everything in between. Today we're discussing one of our favorite topics, pop culture and social media. So if you're an entrepreneur or thinking of creating a little side hustle, this may be of interest to you. And also if you're into a little gossip, this is definitely for you. Thank you for joining us. Hola, Candace.
Hola, ¿cómo le va?
Todo bien, todo es perfecto.
Qué bueno.
Life is life, man. It's been a busy week, I will say, but
It's been a really busy week. It was my birthday week, and
yes.
it was it's been such a great week. Tomorrow I have I feel like I've been celebrating all week. Tomorrow my family's coming over, having a
Aw,
little birthday dinner, and I think that'll conclude the week of celebration
for now.
for now. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
exciting. Happy birthday again.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. My heart is like racing. I don't know why I'm so nervous about this episode.
I know. I'm excited though because I am a pop culture junkie. My friends and
Yeah.
I actually have a blog on Medium that we've had for like 5 or 6 years where we just share pop culture updates and our
Amazing.
takes on them. So this is definitely appropriate. And I'm happy to show that some people feel shame, for indulging in pop
Yes.
culture. It's
Mhm.
maybe actually we start with that. There is a big, it's not taboo. What's the word?
Yeah, it's like a stigma.
A stigma. Perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect. Perfect. And I find that to be such bullshit. Why can't I indulge in some gossip and some tweets and some yes, there needs to be a limit, a healthy dipping moderation, but
Yeah.
I find nothing wrong with it.
No, I don't either. And I actually find I don't know, everything I watch or listen to, I there's a purpose. Like I'm never just doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm always either learning something or and learning something can be something as simple as like if you watch certain people put together outfits, there's a formula. If you watch the Kardashians, you're going to learn a lot of business stuff and marketing stuff if you've got that brain and you're paying close attention.
Yep.
If you're, I just feel like there's a purpose to everything I consume in terms of my media. So I really don't have a problem with it.
I entirely agree.
Britney forever.
Britney forever. Let's say it again. Free Britney. She's free. I'm so happy for her.
Yay.
Yeah, I entirely agree. So actually, on the Kardashian note, let us
Mm,
tell you, the listener, that this is an emergency episode for us because we planned on diving into pop culture, but way later in our series. But if you follow the Kardashians and Kanye, there's been a lot going on. So we decided, okay, we got to address this now while it's fresh, while
yeah.
it's hot. Do you have any thoughts? Do you want to, or should we give a summary of what's been going down?
Let's give a summary and then yes, I have thoughts. Do you want to do the
Okay,
summary?
sure. So, Kanye being Kanye, where do we even begin? Kanye was born in Southside Chicago. Um, if you've been following, Kanye and Kim announced what, like last year, that they're separating. Personally, I saw that coming eventually. It was only a matter of time, but they got a lot of beautiful babies out of it. Cool, cool, cool. Um, ever since Kim announced that she was the one who filed for divorce. That was the Kris Jenner marketing train for sure, making it clear who filed. Kanye has been publicly on a rampage against Kim and her new boyfriend, Pete. Pete Davidson or Davidson?
Davidson.
Davidson. Um, and this past week, that has spiraled into multiple Instagram posts, all of which have now been deleted. It is very clear at this point that his PR team took over. There's only one post up last I checked, and the caption is very non Kanye. So they clearly, someone had to step in. If you don't know, Kanye has been very public about his life with bipolar disorder and living with that as an artist and what that's like. And if you follow him, you can see it's tough though, right? Because it's Kanye, so you don't really ever know the vibe. So yeah, so there's been a lot going on this week. I have a lot of opinions about it as a day one Kanye fan. I have been following him since day one. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. He is undoubtedly a genius, musically, and a visionary. But he's a spicy one, and he's a Gemini. What are your takes on Kanye and
Well,
his?
I'm gonna update because yes, there was the one post by
Oh,
the PR person, and then since then there's been a post every hour for the last I don't know, couple hours. So
what?
it's completely off the chart. Like he's back.
He's back. He got his
Yeah,
password again.
he got his password back. I have many thoughts. I think that what we're watching is an absolute train wreck. I feel nervous for Kim's kids, Pete Davidson. I feel like it's no longer, something I want to eat popcorn and watch. It's more like it makes me feel kind of sick to watch it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
what's happening now is in the realm of danger and people's personal safety seems at risk. And
Yep.
honestly, his mental health seems uh, just kind of out of control. And I know that with a mental illness like bipolar, you have these extreme highs, these extreme lows, and you can medicate, but that also can result in feeling almost stifled or kind of down or just not like yourself. So I can understand his I can understand when he said, it's just not for me. It stifles my genius, my creativity. I don't feel like myself. I get that. But this behavior just seems wildly out of control and not a good look for anybody. And I also think if he's really trying to get his family back, this is everything he's doing is like pushing them further and further away. And everything you put out there publicly is going to be used against you in court. So I don't know. I really feel for Kim. I feel for the kids because, like, North is at this age where people are probably, her classmates are probably on TikTok. They probably hear what's going on. They see what's going on. And so I just wonder what that's like as a pre-teen to kind of grow up in that environment when your dad is so unstable and it's so super public.
Not to mention that I saw this post the other day saying, what's it going to be like when Kanye and Kim have to explain their digital footprint to the kids when they're older? This is all there. This is
Right,
well
right.
documented. And so, yeah, personally, I think the biggest thing for me is on one hand, this week, I believe, Genius drops on Netflix, which, if you don't know, Kanye has had a videographer for the past about 20 years who's followed his whole career, which is amazing. And so that drops on Netflix. It's a few episodes. It's basically a documentary on him. And Kanye does shit like this to get hype. Which is also just so unnecessary because he has dedicated fans. And then on top of that, he's been teasing Donda 2, which is supposed to drop like next week. So whenever he does these things, which is often when there's a drop about to happen, it's like I have to ask myself, is he really about this or is this promo? In this case, I think that he actually is spiraling, because like I just went through the posts that, like you said, have been posted every hour, um, which is crazy. And also, they announced yesterday that he and Julia Fox broke up, which is like, duh, guys, yeah, we know.
I
Um,
don't ever think that was a real thing. I think that was all hype. I think that little article that she wrote, I think he was behind it. I think the whole thing, I think she was in on it. I think he was in on it. I think that when you talk about the hype and the spectacle, I think that's what that was. But this, the screenshots of Kim's, text to him saying like, please don't do this. You are creating an unsafe environment for the kids, for Pete. It doesn't have to be like this. I think that is the spiraling and the mental health thing.
I entirely agree. And that's my biggest thing. My biggest takeaway from this is that he's literally harassing her. You know what I mean? The mother of his children, he's literally publicly harassing her and her new man, which also on the media front, I also think that's fake. But
I do
regardless,
not think that's fake at all.
really? Oh,
Let me make my
please,
case. Okay,
please.
here's my case. Do you remember in that Kardashian episode when Kim was talking to her mom, she was super calm and she was like, I had everything grand and amazing with Kanye. It was never like a shopping trip to the mall. It's like, let me just fill your entire house with couture looks or, whatever it was. It's always so grand. She's like, I just want somebody to go to the gym with me. I want
Yep.
somebody to like sit home and watch a movie. He wants to move out to Wyoming, and do this whole thing. And everything is a big spectacle. And I think it was probably really exciting and almost intoxicating when you first get around it. And I think after a few years, after having kids with him, after, renovating this house and making it, everything is just grand to the extreme. And I think she just wants like a normal guy who wants to go grab ice cream from Carvel or
Yep.
something. You know what I
And
mean?
get
And so,
pizza.
and I think Pete is I'm not personally attracted to him, but I think he's funny. I think he's just down to earth. I think it's about let's just go to the I mean the dates that they're going to the movies, it's just so simple compared to Kanye who's literally delivering a truck full of roses to her house on Valentine's Day. And I bet Pete was like, "Here's a single rose and some chocolate that costs $6." Like she's not wowed by anything big anymore. She wants the simple stuff.
And it's also probably because, I mean, she grew up with Rob Kardashian. So whether we knew about her, someone's known about her, right? Basically her whole
For
life.
sure.
And so she probably hasn't really indulged in that normalcy for a long time. But I'm not convinced that Pete's about to be North's stepdad. I'm not.
I don't think it's there, but I think
Yeah,
that I think them together is genuine. I'm not sure that he's going to be moving in or like I can't really see him in that Calabasas lifestyle either. But I
true.
think that whatever friendship slash love thing they've got going on, I think that is real. I don't know how much further it's going to go. I don't know if it's a rebound. I don't know about that, but I don't think that this is, I think she's got enough publicity. I don't think she needs any more. And I definitely think much like after that robbery when she kind of laid low, I think if she wanted to have that narrative, she totally could. She doesn't have to go out and be seen with this guy.
On the relationship front,
Mm.
do you follow Tristan
Oh
Trimester Thompson?
God, Tristan. I can't. Yeah. So I don't follow him because
Yeah, no, not
no,
follow him, but the
woof.
saga.
But the saga, yes, I do follow the saga.
I think actually my blog with my friends about pop culture, I think our most read piece was on the first time that
Mm.
Tristan third
Is that the
trimester.
Jordan time or there's a time before that, right?
There was a time before that because the time
Right.
before that was when we found out while she was in labor. It
That
dropped.
wasn't the Jordan thing?
Nope, Jordan came out.
Oh.
That's not funny, my bad. But Jordan was after True was already born. Then there was another one, and then now we're on this one, and Homegirl's pregnant. Um, honestly, like my main thing is just, I know what it's like to feel like an ugly duckling, and I feel like it's clear, throughout just if you've been following the
Yeah.
Kardashians that Chloe has let public discord and things get to her, and I'm sure it's
Mhm.
maybe tough being in that family considering the way people look and everything like that.
Right.
But my biggest thing is like, man, I just wish this woman would like get some therapy and really love herself because it really makes me sad to
I
watch.
think there's a big thing too with her dad. She lost her dad at such a impressionable age, and I think that combined with all those questions and doubts around who her dad really was growing up, even though I think it's been proven that he was her dad. But either way, I think there are a lot of different layers to it. I'm sure she's. I mean, I would hope that she's been in therapy or is and there like at least is now. But I think all of those things have contributed to a lack of security within herself. And then maybe that's translated over. I also think, I mean, she's just somebody who wants to love so big and so hard and so deeply. And we saw it with Lamar Odom. I don't think
Yep.
anybody understood what was really going on in that house in terms of the addiction and the other things that were going on. And she kept, it seems like she kept it from everybody, even in her family. So I think that she's just, if you zoom out and look at the timeline of like her love life, it just seems like it's been one tough situation after another. And now she's got a daughter to think about. So
Right.
now I think if anything, she's really going to be on it because she loves that baby more than anything, you know?
I really hope so. Because also the flip side is, they say you lose them how you get them, and I think basically every person that Chloe has been with publicly for the past 5-ish years has been actively in another relationship when she got with them, and so that's also something to highlight is make it clean, keep it clean. She did it with French Montana. She was friends with Trina, did it with Lamar Odom. He was with Taraji P. Henson while they were together. Tristan had a whole baby mama who just had a baby when they got together, but she didn't know. You're the Kardashians, you know everything, that you can't really push that narrative.
But you also, it's so, if you've got somebody who's such a narcissist and who is such a manipulator in your ear, in your
Mm-hmm.
bed, telling you, no, it's done, it's over with, I have no contact, then like how much do you really know, even though you're a Kardashian and you shouldn't really know the story. Do you know what I mean? It's hard when you've
I
got somebody in
do,
your face.
but when it's a pattern,
Mm,
you got to take a step back. And she's done it so
right.
many times. And they actually all have done it quite a few times. Kylie had a whole baby with
Yes.
Tyga, and Black China was best friends. Can you imagine you're with your best friend and her teenage younger sister got not didn't get pregnant because she didn't have a baby by
No,
him.
they didn't have
But
a
yeah,
baby together.
but
Yeah.
got into a relationship, a very
Yeah.
publicized relationship, a very scandalous relationship considering the age difference.
Right.
They're not clean in this.
Mm-mm.
I feel a lot of this, and that's just life, is that, if you're not, karma's going to come back in whatever way it comes back. And
Mm.
so, like you said, she has a daughter now. And I just truly hope that she moves with a bit more integrity as a woman. And maybe now she knows what it felt like for Taraji, for Trina,
Mm.
for Tristan's baby mama. It's not always clean, right? And we all know what it's like to talk to a guy. And my main question when I meet a man is there a woman who thinks that she's in a relationship with you? Because I don't really
Mm.
care what you think. Is there a
Mhm.
woman? We know they be lying, but regardless, after a while, you got to check yourself and look at whether or not it's a pattern. And also,
It's so funny because I just talked about this with a friend who's she's divorced and she's ready to get out there and she's doing the online dating thing and she's like it's just so awkward. Like at what point she was
Candace,
like, so at what point did you sit down and say, Dan, are you talking to other people on these apps? Like what's going on? And I was like, I think after like the third day, I was like, so how many other girls are you talking to? you know? Because you don't know. It's
you
just like a
don't.
weird world.
No, Candace, it is. I whenever I'm on a dating app, I would just think, oh, this is how Candace found Dan. This is how Kenny, if you're listening, when I'm about to go to an engagement party, they met on Hinge. I have two other friends. They're getting married this summer, and I think they met on Bumble. So there are
Listen, it can
success
happen.
stories.
It can
It can
happen.
happen, but I'm not convinced. Let me just say that. That needs to be a whole episode in itself.
It
Let me
really
tell
does.
you, because I'm
Yeah.
traumatized, Candace. I'm traumatized.
I'm sorry.
Whew. Okay. Before we take a quick commercial break, anything else you want to touch upon in regards to the Kardashians?
I just hope like there are kids involved now. So I
Yep.
just feel like I think it's a weird world for them to grow up in anyway. And I just hope that whatever's going on with Kanye can be kind of reined in a bit to protect them. I also am really curious as to why Britney Spears could be put on a 5250, but Kanye can't.
We know
Like,
the answer to that.
what is what is it? I don't know the answer to that. What
Oh,
is
I
it?
would say that she's a woman
Mm-hmm.
and that I think with Britney, she had her management, aka her parents, took over that early in the game, right? When she was still a kid,
Right,
basically. So it was
right,
easier
right.
for them, I think, to from the jump just take control, which is 13 years. Like,
Crazy. I can't imagine.
unreal.
She must be traumatized.
Traumatized. I'm traumatized for her. 13
Yeah.
years. And you're a
I
mom.
can't
She's not even
imagine.
just out here a young woman. She's a mom.
Mm-mm.
Sick. But I entirely
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Okay. Any last words from you about this whole situation?
No, I just hope, I think I admire the Kardashians for a lot in regards to business. And I love to watch them. I will watch the new series on Hulu. But I think they're not without controversy. They're not without fault. I do find it a bit cringy the way they kind of sometimes, for me, it seems like they just want to rack up black children and see how many babies they can push out. Like when Kim was like, oh, look, the color of the stroller matches the baby's skin. That's weird, bro. So I just hope that, especially with this trend, it seems like everyone's dissing the black men, right? And then now they're all
Mm.
getting white men. It just feels very contrived. Sometimes it doesn't feel necessary. It feels a bit gross sometimes to watch. And so I just
Yeah.
hope that over time, especially as parents to black children,
Hmm.
that they become a bit more culturally aware and sensitive with how they move.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's it.
All right. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. The last few years have been really challenging for many of us, and so many people have been struggling with their mental health. If you're struggling as well, BetterHelp is offering our listeners 10% off their first month with code YBC. All therapists are licensed, accredited professionals. Pay a low flat fee for unlimited therapy with your therapist and communicate with your therapist as often as you want and whenever you feel it's needed. To check it out, go to betterhelp.com and use code YBC for 10% off or click the link in the show notes. All right, we are back. And in this portion, we're going to talk about different shows because Euphoria is back.
Euphoria is back. Although we'll get into Euphoria, but yeah, it's back.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive in. So I'm late to the Euphoria game. Like only started watching it a few months ago, which was really great because I had 10 million episodes to
I'm
catch up on.
jealous.
Yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, I'm kind of new to Euphoria.
I watched it live when it came on the first season because all my friends were watching it, and I was like, okay, I tried. I'm like, who cares? But then I started watching it, and I'm like, ah. And although I love this season, I love the first season more.
Okay.
Obviously, this season's not done, but I feel like because they got a lot of attention for how much they pushed boundaries,
Mm,
some of it now feels a bit contrived. Like some things just kind of feel like they're putting it out there for a shock factor. But on the flip side, I think it's dope in regards to how much I think it's actually amazing how they talk about drugs. Because
mm,
just like if you watch Teen Mom, and I believe Teen Mom has in studies been proven that they helped decrease teen pregnancy rates in America.
mm-hmm.
And I feel the same with this. Like, if you watch Euphoria and you think I want to do drugs, I can't relate because it makes me never want to touch
Ever.
anything
Yeah.
ever. It seems
Yeah.
horrible, which is a testament to the actors. But there are some things that make me really uncomfortable, to be honest. I know they're all adults,
Mm,
but like watching simulated sex for teenagers be like really graphic sometimes to me
right.
feels it just feels gratuitous sometimes.
Well, because I forget that they're teenagers. You know,
Yeah.
like they're playing teenagers. They're not actually teenage actors. It's interesting too because I look at it from one angle and Dan looks at it from another angle. So
Ah.
on the episode, okay, spoiler alert for anybody who's not in the current season. If you do not want the spoiler, fast forward 2 minutes. Okay, so in I can't remember if it's the most recent episode or not, but when Rue goes on her binge and she's running through the streets and she like hides in the garbage and then she like gets out of there. Dan was like, this is just not realistic. He's like, this whole scene could have been 20 seconds long. He's like, it just feels so dragged out. And he's
Mm.
watching it from a perspective of wanting to be entertained and wanting one thing to happen right after the other. I'm watching it from a weird perspective. So years ago when I worked with Revlon, we did a commercial that was well, it wasn't really like a commercial, but it was for their YouTube page. And it was a 3-minute long I guess, lifestyle content piece to promote their line of makeup that would stay with you throughout the whole day. And so it followed me from getting up in the morning, leading a
I
workshop,
remember
doing
that.
XYZ. Yeah, it was really fun. But that whole thing, a 3 minute video, took 3 days of production, a crew of 20 plus people. I've never been, I mean, I've been in front of the camera like since the dawn of time, but not with 20 eyeballs looking at me, and they're all looking at different things, whether it's the hair, the makeup, the lighting, the camera angle, how my body is, continuity, this and that. And so it's I know how much work goes into a very comparatively low budget 3 minute video. And then after that incident, like after that experience, I remember saying to myself, I will never say I hated that movie. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
how bad that movie is, because so much work and effort goes into it. So I'm looking at it from a perspective of production, of execution, of somebody's vision being brought to life. The other thing I'm realizing is that I have a client who is friendly with the writer of the whole show, and he was like, I sat with him and had dinner with him, and he is just this like, he's a former drug addict, and he or a recovering
Um,
drug addict, and so he's very like eccentric and out there, and like what you see in the show is kind of who he is as a person. Like he loves to just talk about this, and he's just like a very charismatic person. And so if you think of like the mind of who created it and the production, all of that, to me it's art, and I can appreciate that. Although I do agree with Dan that like, yeah, that whole episode of her going off that binge could have been, 30 minutes long instead of an hour.
it could have been, and I actually that was the second to last episode. That episode, like, I think that was the best episode of Euphoria ever. And that I hope off of that episode, Zendaya gets awards on awards. I was invested. Like, you believed that she was tweaking. You
Especially
believed.
for that first section too, when she's like flipping when her mom had thrown out the drugs. Yeah.
Oh my God. And then she
It's
finds them in the kitchen. Oh my God. And actually I loved that scene, although I was stressed. Um,
yeah.
and it's interesting. I don't even know I wasn't in a rush watching that scene. I was just like, oh, okay. This is happening. It was stressful, of course. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think Euphoria is nothing short of art for sure. That is
So good.
undebatable. And the way it is
So good.
filmed, it is beautifully filmed. Same with
And
Insecure. Did you ever get into Insecure?
no, what's that?
Oh, highly recommended. Insecure
Okay.
is the quintessential millennial show, and especially for Black millennials. But all of my
Okay.
friends, no matter their color, they watch it. It just ended, which is so sad. It changed. It changed TV. It changed television. Yes, like you
What
have to
station
watch
is
it.
it on?
It's HBO,
Okay. I'll check it
and
out.
it is one. It's hilarious. It talks about the dating that we just talked about. Talks about everything, just work, jobs, microaggressions as a woman, microaggressions as a Black person. But that's one thing that Euphoria and Insecure have in common, is that the cinematography is
Mm,
beautiful. But yeah, Insecure by far changed television. I cannot recommend it to anyone enough if you're watching, especially if you're a millennial. It's like Friends, except Friends was stolen from Living Single, and then made modern times.
okay, cool.
Beautiful.
Also, shout out to whoever does the music for Euphoria, because
Woo!
their selection, like I never realized that you could make or break a scene with incredible or awful music. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good. So good. And I find new music every week, which is also the same with Insecure. Like, it's like a thing that you would listen for the Insecure songs. Like, what are they going to play this week? Spotify has
Cool. I'm gonna
curated.
check that out. I can't wait
Please.
to watch. Yeah.
Also, the Spotify Insecure playlist is fire. What else? So, else have you been watching lately?
Um, I just kind of lame stuff. Like life right now is a little bit stressful. So we've been watching the Great British Bake Off, and I don't mean that it's not a lame show at all. Just sometimes you need something light and fluffy, and our go-to is that. It's this the sense of humor is fantastic. It's like so inconsequential about what happened. Like we're not stressed over it. I don't sometimes you just like don't want to be stressed out. Like that one episode in Euphoria when they're driving a million miles an hour. She's with Nate. the what's her name, Cassie, and she's
Cassie,
like looking over, and I thought she was gonna fall. What, like
stressed.
stressed to the max. There's none of that with the Great British Bake Off. Um, yeah, I haven't really been watching very much.
With the
Ready
Great
for that
British
Kardashian episode to come out, or show to come
Ready,
out.
which I
Yeah.
think is what, April? Um,
Hmm.
the Great British Bake Off, there's an American version, right?
There might be.
I
I don't
think there
know.
is, but you watch a British, like it's a British show.
I have specifically been told that the British one is hysterical. It's very sweet. You gotta watch. You gotta watch it. So I'm like, all right, fine, we'll watch it. And we just ended up like loving it. Yeah.
Word. Oh, there is an American one. I know what. TikTok. TikTok teaches you to do everything.
Mm.
This means nothing to me because I do not watch the great, what is it? The greatest, the
The
what?
Great British Bake Off.
The Great British Bake Off. But fun fact that I learned from TikTok is the Great British Bake Off, when they came to the States to make their version, they had to go back and change every reference to Bake Off because Pillsbury owns the phrase, the trademark Bake Off with the Pillsbury Doughboy. So they had to go back into pre-production, post-production, change cups, change the trophies, and on TikTok there are like
Wow.
side by sides. The hosts had to re-record for the British one, and then they have to
Wild.
stop. And oh, I know what it is. It's not that there's an American version. It's that the version that you watch in the States can't say Bake Off.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
fun fact.
crazy. That IP stuff is no joke. And fun fact, have you ever wondered like what actually happens to all this food that all these people have been baking? Do they just
Yes,
throw it out?
yes.
So when I was on my Revlon shoot, I asked like, have you got, because all these guys also would, the crew members would also work other shows, and they did like really cool pilots. Like there was one, it was called like high, something about being super high, and basically the contestants got super high, and then they had to do a cooking show where the ingredient, like the main ingredient was some THC, like butter or like
Oh,
something.
I watched that.
And really, oh,
Yeah,
I thought it got canceled or something, but I guess
I'll
maybe it was
find it.
just
It
a
was, or
pilot.
maybe a different
Okay.
one.
So they were like, yeah, we've done a couple cooking shows, and basically they just give it to the crew. And so they were like, we were really
Oh,
eating good on that show.
I wish I was a crew member on that show. I think like Complex or Vice used to have a show like that, and I did watch a few episodes. That's my dream. But then what if the food's gross? Like, do people just throw it away?
Well, yeah, like what if the food is gross? I would imagine. Yeah.
I would be so hurt. Like everyone
Well,
else is
it's
eating.
California. You know they're gonna like compost it, so it's not gonna go like in the trash. It's gonna go into the soil.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, what else? Anything else? Oh, have you
Ooh,
watched?
Tindler
Yes,
Swindler.
you
What is it?
already know.
Tinder. I keep wanting to say Tindler Swindler, but it's not.
I say it every
Tinder
time.
Swindler. Yeah.
Every
Okay.
time.
I need to ask, when you hear the first woman and she's like, "Oh, he's texting me that I'm going to go fly on a private plane to meet him at his house on date 1." Is there a world in which you would ever do that on date 1 with a random
No,
person you've met on an app?
sex trafficking is a very real thing. So, to any woman or human listening to this, sex trafficking is a huge, huge, huge thing globally. And if you're not aware, that's because we're blessed and we don't have to be aware of those things. But that is who holds your passport. Once you're on that plane, you don't know where it's going. Absolutely not. Also, I could not stand the
Absolutely
first
not.
woman. I
Could
couldn't
not
stand
stand
her.
her. I couldn't stand her. I love
And she's still on
Norwegians, but
Tinder.
oh, no, no. It was
Mm-mm.
crazy to me. There were so many red flags from the moment from the start. I was like, how, I'm not trying to victim shame or victim blame, but like, how
Of
did you
course.
get from A to B? Now we're at Z. Like, how did you not see all of the red flags in between? I guess some people are so excited by the prospect of what could happen that maybe you just overlook those things. I don't
But
know.
second homegirl, they weren't even dating or anything. They were just friends. Can you imagine if you met Dan and your third date, he's like, hey, can I just borrow like, 10 stacks? But he's supposed to be a billionaire. That's my thing is if homie is a billionaire,
Yeah. Yeah.
why is he asking you for money? Um,
100%.
nah. Again, we're not here to victim shame in any capacity, but ain't no way. It's just
Mm-mm.
not. It's no, no. Have you watched on the scammer front? You know I love scammer things. Have you watched Inventing Anna?
No, but I remember hearing about this story. I can't wait to watch Inventing Anna. Tell me your thoughts.
I can't wait for you to watch it because I do encourage everyone to watch it. It's short. It could have been way shorter. Absolutely, like 4 episodes. I'm not a Shonda Rhimes fan, if
Oh,
that's even her
interesting.
name.
Why?
Her
That's her name.
her stuff just feels so salacious and dramatic and drawn out and very romanticized. Is definitely
Mm,
a certain target demo, and I'm just not the target demo. You know.
okay. Yeah.
So it is, if you're into her stuff, you'll love it. Also, a lot of the people who have been in her shows are in the series.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so she like, I mean, I love that part of it, use your
Mhm.
people. But yeah, it's told from the perspective of the woman who wrote the big story that dropped about it. It's not told from the perspective of Anna, probably because she probably sold her story to someone else, right? Um, so yeah, it's good, but I followed it in real time and I was very invested. So to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed.
Mm. I just think it's hard to keep up all the lies. Like I I don't like to even tell a white lie because I just feel like how do I keep it up? What if I'm found out? Like I can't lie about anything and I don't know how you could lie about your name, your age, where you're from, what you do, I just don't know how you could do it.
And not be apologetic about it. That's one thing. Inventing Anna
You can
and
sleep at
the Tinder
night.
swindler, they have no apologies.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-mm.
yeah, I can't move like that. Absolutely not. But recommended
Mm-mm.
to watch for sure.
Yeah. Anything else that you're into right now? Are you on Bravo at all or E or anything like that?
Yes, I am Bravo obsessed, all things Bravo, but there's really nothing to watch right now, to be honest. There's nothing out. I just finished watching, for those of you who watch Power, if you don't watch Power, so good. Watch the OG Power. I just watched Power Book 2. I just finished it, season 2. It was so good. And I would say honestly, Power is, I would say, my favorite show of the year, other than Euphoria, more than
Mm.
Euphoria. But that's it. Like how you watch the Great British Bake Off, I watch reruns of Below Deck Med, in
Oh,
bed.
how is that?
It's so good, Candace. You have to watch it. Please.
Okay, I will. I will. I
It's
will.
so good. I definitely recommend starting with Below Deck, the regular one, the OG.
Hmm.
And I get wildly seasick, but I still have visions and dreams of working on a yacht.
Really? I'd see. I feel like I get too seasick.
No, yeah, I can't do it. I would throw up the
Yeah.
whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
in a past life. Now I'll just focus on owning the yacht, rent it out to people.
I like that idea. I will join you. I will join you on that lot. Yeah. Oh, you know what I watched that was interesting-ish was it's called Georgina or it I Am Georgina.
I saw that. You liked it?
Yeah. It was okay. I mean, it's
Okay.
light, it's light, it's silly. She seems sweet. It's just kind of like you're on a flight, you don't know what to watch. This is the thing to watch. It's not very deep, but it was fine.
That made me think of whoever, if anyone at Netflix is listening to this, please bring back Ginny and Georgia, like season 2. Did you watch season 1?
No.
Oh, okay, that's your number one priority. It is
Really?
so good. Like, on the
Okay.
scammer front, you will love it. I have no doubt about it. You'll probably finish it in a day or two. It is
Okay.
so good, and I think it came out season 2020. Yeah, pandemic vibes, and it hasn't come
Okay.
back. You're gonna love it. You're gonna be
Okay.
obsessed.
I'm in.
But yeah,
Amazing.
nothing else.
Alrighty, shall we take a quick break?
Let's do it.
Okay.
If you too are a pop culture junkie, let me introduce you to the Friday Report. The Friday Report is a bi weekly newsletter curated by me, Megan, where I share my life lessons, takes on pop culture, a rundown of current events, fun finds from the internet, and my nomadic adventures abroad. You can subscribe to the Friday Report at lifemade.com/Friday. That's lifemade, MAED.com/Friday. Talk soon. Who the fuck am I talking to soon?
Should we we take it in or leave it there? I think it's kind of
Leave it.
funny.
Yeah, just leave it.
Let's just leave it. I mean, we could talk about this too. Let me tell you, every time I go to a restaurant and they're like, enjoy your meal, and I'm like, you
You
too.
too.
Or you get on a flight, enjoy your flight, you too. And the person's not on that flight with you. I'm like, oh, why?
It's so
Why?
awkward. It's so awkward.
Oh my gosh.
We'll talk to you soon if you subscribe to the Friday Report.
Amazing. All right, let's bring it back to pop culture in the sense of social media. So I feel like the landscape of social media has changed dramatically.
Whew.
Thank God that Facebook came out when I was in college because I could not handle life if it was around when I was in middle school.
Can you imagine?
No, I don't want to imagine.
Yeah, like
Middle
it
school
seems
and high school
horrible.
were horrible enough. Yeah, we don't need any more.
And
So
then the
my question is,
documentation.
oh God, the footprint. Let's talk about different social media platforms, the different demographics, and then if you're on there and how you use them either for your personal or for business. So let's start with Facebook.
Huh.
Are you on? How do you feel? Tell us everything.
I mean, obviously I have an account, yeah, like you have one too. But it's jokes to me. I have no desire to open it. I can't tell you the last time I opened it. I will say I use Facebook as a nomad. It's the main reason why I keep it other than my family is that's how I found my nail lady, my nail tech in Medellin. It's how I find the best places to get a good wax. Like who's gonna do my eyebrows? I can you sense a trend here?
Priorities. You don't use that feature that's like Megan's been marked safe. You're like, no, I need to
Oh
know
yeah.
where am I getting my eyebrows done?
Who does your eyebrows and do they thread? But if you're a woman, you know how scary it is, or not even a woman, you know how scary it is to move and to have to find your new people. So that's the reason why I use it, honestly, and to connect with other nomads, especially like meeting nomads of color. But other than that, I have zero desire. Zero. How do you feel about it?
The only reason I have it still is because you have to have a personal account for your business. So I have a business page. I somehow amassed like 70 plus thousand followers on that page. I don't know how. No, I do know how. Consistency, interaction, the formula. But I don't really do it that much anymore. I think I've like scheduled my Instagram to to post on Facebook when I publish Instagram. So I think it's used that way. But I wouldn't have Facebook if I didn't need it for my business. It's just not a place I hang out. I also feel like there's a specific demographic that's on Facebook that's not on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. And that demographic is like people my parents' age who are trying to stay in touch with their other family members, the second cousins, the old classmates, this and that. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just like I think of like different social media platforms like different types of restaurants. You're going to find a certain group at this restaurant, a certain group at that restaurant, and that's just kind of how it is. So, I think if you're a business owner and you have a product or a service that is specific to people, age 50 and up, then Facebook is definitely the place to go to, target that audience.
Absolutely, perfectly said. And that's also a great reason, probably, why we're not necessarily on it as much. Because you're right, that's not my target demo. But yeah, Facebook for me died when my parents got on there. I remember I was living in Paris. I'm studying abroad. It's my first time abroad. Of course, my parents are nervous. I get it. Mind you, my parents are helicopter parents. When I went to college, my mom had to get hospitalized. That's how stressed out she was because my dad
Stop.
drove me. Yeah. So those are my parents. So that's the backstory. So I go to
Wow.
Paris. I'm living my best life, my best broke life as a student abroad, and I'm obviously going on lots of dates. And I posted just something simple about a date. Oh my God, who are you with? Da 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 da. Are you safe? I went off. I went off. And I was like, no one asked you, basically. This has nothing to do with you. And then I blocked them. Yeah, they got blocked and they got unblocked, later in life when I stopped caring about
Yeah.
Facebook. They're both blocked on Instagram right now for a multitude of reasons. But I remember I went off on my mom another time because I post imagine having me as a daughter. I posted on my Instagram this picture of me on this nude beach in Koh Phangan, Thailand, and obviously I'm very tatted. And so my mom is like, "Oh, this is such a." She loves the naked part. My mom is, if you got it, flaunt it. Me naked on social media, loves it. This is such a beautiful picture. It just would have been so much nicer without those tattoos. Blocked. Don't need the vibes.
Oh.
I
You know
don't need
what's
the
funny
energy.
about my mom? She didn't mind the tattoos. I had a nose piercing. And she was like, tats all day, but nose piercings and other like weird I don't have any other piercings, but if I did, it would be like hell on earth. She
My
was
mom's the
not for it.
opposite. She took
That's
me
so
for like
funny.
the majority of these piercings. She took me to get, and she has
I
four
love those
holes.
piercings on you.
Thank you. I love them so much. And my piercing, she's cool with it. I think I make them look
Yeah.
dainty, and she's
Yeah.
used to the tattoos now. But yeah, that
Hmm.
anyway. In summary, that's why. Yeah, no Facebook for me.
That's funny. How do you feel about YouTube?
Ooh, YouTube. I'm YouTube University for life. YouTube. I launched a business off
Yes.
of YouTube. You feel me? YouTube, and Google, I would say, are the greatest inventions of my existence on this planet. I I mean, just think about the things you have done with YouTube. I've fixed things. I've made meals. I have learned how to put on mascara. I don't know. It's endless, right? Yeah, YouTube is. I would say YouTube is the most important of, so if it's considered a social media platform, I guess it is. It's, for me,
Yeah.
it's the most important.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit to YouTube. I would say W platform for me. My dad has a lot of knowledge about like plumbing and electricity and building house construction, that sort of thing. But anytime he likes to do things. He once got fired from a construction job for going too slow because he wants to like measure 5 times, watch 5 YouTube videos about it, and then like just do it perfectly once. Whereas uh, Dan will like measure twice and then just I'm gonna just try it, and then we always have to like redo it. No hate to Dan though, like he will own that.
He makes it
Anyway,
happen.
he just makes it happen. But anyway, yeah, I just think there's so much to be learned on YouTube, and I mean I can't fault it because that's really where I got my start, and it's brought me such tremendous success. So I am definitely pro YouTube. How do you feel about Twitter?
Ooh, obsessed. Of
Obsessed.
all,
Okay.
between like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, if I could only have one, it would be Twitter for sure. No competition.
Why?
Um, I've been on Twitter for like maybe since I was a freshman in college or whenever it came out for real. And it's the most, oh my gosh, how do you even say it? It's organic. That's something I really like about it. It was like the first place where I really got a taste of being my authentic self and still talking about business. Twitter is very much so, you can retweet this crazy TikTok and then you can talk about business strategy. No one's judging you for it. If anything, people want you
Hmm.
to show up that way. It is also very toxic. I'm going to be honest, in the most entertaining way, especially on Black TikTok. Black Twitter. Something happens every day. To give you a snippet, so an example, this woman tweeted that she was talking to this guy, like she was, they were dating, they met on some app or something. She flew out to go visit him somewhere. Or no, he came to visit her. And then they had this
Okay.
great weekend, this crazy romance, cool, cool, cool. They agreed that she would go visit him. So she books her flight, he pushes it off. She's like, okay, well, I'll reschedule. I hope everything's okay. She reschedules it. That same weekend, he's like, hey, so this came up. I got to do this, da 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 da. Cool. She's like, all right, but I'm wasting money now on flights. He's like, no, I'll cover it. I'll cover it when you get here. Next time comes, he sends her on some Tinder swindler shit, sends her a picture of him in the hospital. And he's like, this happened, da 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 da. And then he sends a picture. She's like, oh my God, I just hope that you're okay. He's like, hey, this is so and so's mom. He can't answer right now, da 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 da. I'll have him reach out to you when he can. All this stuff goes on, right? She eventually tags him. Then telling, this is blowing up on Twitter. This is Monday. He's telling his side of the story. And he's like, he said he had a cousin die. One of the weekends, he's like, hey, my cousin just passed. I can't have you this weekend. I need to be here for my family. He posts a picture of his cousin and says, well, listen, I did lose a cousin last summer. Like, this is him. someone comments and says, I work with you. This is Earl from accounting. I'm telling him what you put. So then Earl from accounting was trending on Twitter. It was this huge thing. And it's like, that's why I love Twitter, because it all came
Wow.
full circle, and it's still probably a huge thing. Like, so now it's a huge joke, Earl from accounting. And that
Got
little
it.
moment, Earl from accounting, there are so many moments like that with
Right.
Twitter where you mention them to certain people and they know what you're talking about. It's the same with
Right.
TikTok, right? Like different
It's
noises
like
that
the
you
couch
hear.
guy, couch boyfriend.
But exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Or just different, I know something you don't. If someone doesn't know that, you would be like, how do you not know what I'm talking about? It's the same thing. But
I'm
it's hard to navigate, and I get it. Like Twitter is a very, once you get on there, you're like, I don't know what to do. And I get that, but just try, yeah, I recommend trying it. I love
For
it.
me, I just feel like I'm not like a I don't feel that I'm particularly funny or witty. And so I think I can be. I have to be like on a certain
Right.
wavelength. I can be it in person, but like I can't the pressure to like type 140 character thing and like make it like I sometimes I'm like almost there, but I'm not quite there. Anyway, it's the same pressure I feel when I'm trying to come up with reels that are like point of view, blah blah blah. It's
Yes.
like I'm never funny enough. I'm like a 3 out of 10 on the funny or witty scale. Anyway, and so that's why I feel like my Twitter success is so subpar because I just don't know what to say or do that'll like appease the masses. And maybe I shouldn't even be thinking that way,
You
but
don't.
yeah,
And that's the thing about Twitter.
I get scared that like whatever I'm gonna leave is because I can go through people's thing and see what they said like 2 years ago, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that. So I don't really do a whole lot over there on Twitter, but anytime something publishes to my blog, it like automatically goes up. So I have a smallish following on Twitter, but I keep it again for business.
I love it. Yeah. Twitter
How
for
about
life.
TikTok?
I am TikTok obsessed. I have to routinely take TikTok detoxes, and I delete it from my
Mhm,
phone, and then I'll
mhm.
re-download it because it is just so addictive. But on the flip side, it's like I
So
learned so
addictive.
much
So
all the time,
much.
right?
Mhm.
About the gut health, anything, vegetables, how to store your vegetables, how to clean. You learn so much.
It got a bad rap for a really long time because of like I don't know, it was developed in China and whatever, but whoever's doing their algorithm, A plus plus for them because it's just not the same on Instagram. Like they need to hire whoever's doing the algorithm for TikTok because I will like one little thing and then the next little thing is going to be related to that. And that's why you have to be careful about what you like.
Absolutely
But yeah, I really like TikTok. I really like TikTok.
love. How do you like? Because I use TikTok as a consumer. How do you like TikTok as a creator?
I think it's very much like Instagram. You need to do it every day or close to every day. There's got to be a strategy to it. People have a very short attention span, so you need to like catch people right away. You need to be helpful, offer things of value. You need to answer the question. So it's just like yet another thing you have to do. However, I mean, I went viral on it few months ago and I like quickly gained 35,000 followers or something like
Word.
crazy. And so now I'm a part of that creator group and the creator fund so I can earn income from it. And so it's just like I really love a business model where you have many different streams of revenue and it's just another stream of revenue. And then I also like using it as a user. So for me it's like a pleasant experience to be on there, but I do feel the pressure to like keep going with the constant posting, and that can sometimes be a lot.
As a creator, if you had like one tip for someone wanting to create on TikTok, what would it be?
Consistency, and
Mm.
don't worry about if it's perfect. It just needs to be good enough. Because even your most viral thing is only going to be viral for a quick second and then they're on to the next thing. So don't spend too much time obsessing with perfection.
Great tip. Love it.
Hmm.
I also, because you touched on the algorithm and how, because the TikTok algorithm is, I agree, it's unmatched, um, because it's very intentional. And I do have a problem with TikTok as an African American woman, like as a human, because the algorithm very intentionally suppresses Black creators. And like even they just dropped a list of the top creators on TikTok for last year, not one Black person. And TikTok literally popped off because of the dance videos that all of the Black creators created, right? And then all of these dancers got put on these different TV shows and they got all of these highlights for what I feel is mediocre dancing. And they never credited the original dancers. And so like, yeah, I use it, it's not enough for me to be like, I'm canceling TikTok. But unfortunately, I feel it's kind of, not kind of, it is every platform that does this. And I think from that perspective, maybe that, because I've been feeling very social medially fatigued. And maybe that's part of it, honestly. Sometimes it kind of feels like why bother? Like I even saw someone posted on Instagram a few weeks ago and she said she's biracial. And she said that a white woman said that she didn't feel like there were a lot of black service providers. So like, a black VA or a black lawyer, whatever. She said that she didn't feel like there were a lot. Whereas conversely, in the pandemic, Black women were the number one new business owners, and most of those are as service providers. And that's because, well, from one, as a user, you have to take responsibility for your algorithm, right? For your feed. Like you said, you have to be intentional about what you like. But it just sucks that if you do want to see diversity, you have to look for it. And then you have to make sure that you engage in those posts and make sure that you go to someone's page, like a bunch of stuff. Same with YouTube. I love Jackie Aina. And I find out, even though I'm subscribed and I have notifications on, and she's one of the top beauty YouTubers of the past decade, I find out that she drops a new video by her posting about it on Twitter. And it's just like, I have been following her for years. I have notifications on. So, from that perspective, as much as I love all of these platforms, it's just really exhausting.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
would you say if you were, let's say you're speaking to a panel of engineers who were in charge of the algorithm or of the specific platforms, like what would you want to see as the solution?
First thing is just say what it is. Be honest. Because every time last month, I think, or January or December, there was a huge TikTok revolt by Black creators. And if for like one
Hmm.
month, Black creators on TikTok didn't create any new dances. And they noticed that there was a decrease in the usage of TikTok as an app during that
Mm.
time, and they still
Hmm.
won't admit that they do it. And it's like,
Mm.
be honest, you know what I mean? Because you can't fix it until you're honest about it, and we all know that it's
Right.
happening. It's clearly intentional. So for me personally, I feel like that's just usually just what I want from people is honesty. And so it's like, call it what it is and then make concrete solutions. Like, how are you going to fix it?
I'm
Because,
also curious too about like who sits in that room.
right.
I don't know. I don't even really know what that room is. Is it engineers? Is it coders? Like who are those people? What do they look like? Do you know what I mean? And are
Yep.
they creating, I guess, like who's at the top trying to say, here's who we want to promote, make it happen. And if you look around that room, is it diverse enough to
True.
even have the awareness to say, well, wait a minute, are we promoting people that look like all of us, or are we just promoting the white creators? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great question because that's right. It starts in the room, right? But
Mm.
they know what it is. It's the same with Instagram. How the whistleblower, how she dropped to the world that Instagram had their own internal study about how it negatively
Mm.
impacts teenage girls and eating and can cause eating disorders or encourage eating disorders. Same with TikTok. There have been a lot of studies about how TikTok will target teenage users and start putting different posts about food, how to eat less throughout the day. They know what it is. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, regardless of who's in the room, it's like, yo, just take some social responsibility. Cause yeah,
Sometimes it just feels like consumerism is the problem, or like
true.
capitalism is the problem, because I was watching, I follow the CEO of Facebook, forget his name, and every Friday he comes out with a little video about what's new this week at Instagram. And 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, it was like, moving forward, we're going to be trying to better support our creators and our like younger users, which to me sounds like, okay, you're trying to curate feeds for the people who are coming up who will eventually have money to spend. And it sounds like this is a marketing thing. Um, so yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but essentially, like, just that when they're curating these feeds of, what to eat, what not to eat, restrictive eating, whatever, that's all geared towards a certain audience, and eventually they'll have the
True.
money needed to buy the supplements or the pills or this or
Yeah.
that they're going to be pushing on the platform.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Um, any other platforms that you use for business or personal?
The main platform, social media wise, that I actually know the only platform I use for business is Instagram. I have a very
Mhm.
strict no business talk on Twitter vibe. I need
Mhm.
somewhere that's just like my fun place. TikTok, I
Mhm.
haven't been pulled to create. And even Instagram, honestly, like I just had a call with a brand. I had a call about a brand consultation, and I was just going off about how I'm so over Instagram. I'm over it as a user. I'm over it as a creator. During the pandemic, remember I went so hard creating content, like I was doing it
Yeah.
all the time, and I'm over it. And I really struggle to do anything that I don't want to do.
So I feel like you are where I was even 3 weeks ago when I was just like, I hate everything. I don't want to do anything. And now I'm somehow in a much better place. I think that for anyone who's struggling, my tip would be to realize it doesn't have to be this big thing. When you were creating during the pandemic, you were doing like such in depth, super high value content. And I feel like one of those videos could have been 10 different reels. So I would think of like snippets. And remember, I was telling you my follower count was dropping. I was super depressed. I'm like, I'm putting out all this information and like not reaping any benefit. In fact, I'm losing my audience. I started doing a reel a day. I started following a specific formula, and already I'm up 500 people in the last week.
Word. So it
So
works.
I think it works. And so now it's just a matter of like, can I convert those people into customers? So that's always kind of in the back of my mind. But if nothing else, like I feel really good about the stuff I'm putting out, just like little snippets of quick tips or tricks. And I think that those things are helpful and digestible for people who have like a very fast paced life and don't have the time or patience to watch something longer, even though I would prefer to make longer, better quality content, but it just is what it is, you know?
It is what it is, right? It's the lack of attention spans that we are all suffering from.
Yeah.
And I think you said it perfect. You said it perfectly with it's just about converting those people into customers, right? And
Hmm.
I had this epiphany with social media. I think it was Sunday, while I was nursing a very horrible hangover, and I never want to do it again. I thought about how with Instagram, for example, The
Hmm.
Rock doesn't have to he his team maintains his Instagram, but he never really had to be like, come follow me on Instagram.
Right.
People know that he's The Rock, and then they went to look for him on Instagram. Or alternatively, you can be in Instagram and strategically build your audience in
Right.
Instagram, right? I feel that I'm transitioning to The Rock side of things.
Hmm.
I rather,
Hmm.
because like I have something for me for a long time. I've wanted to dive into Pinterest. I feel like for my business model, Pinterest could be huge. Another
Hmm.
thing I've been looking at is like getting into Etsy with all of my designs and everything. And yeah, I don't know what that looks like, but something in my gut is like, well, really just hire someone. That's where I'm at, is hiring
Hmm.
someone to take it
Hmm.
over. Because
Hmm.
I can't.
I just get nervous with the hiring that it's still like because I've had people be like, "Why don't like I have a company and we'll do your social media." Okay, but I still have to film it. Then I have to send it to you. Hope
Mm-hmm.
to God you're going to put it together in the way my brain wants it. And your brain is very specific too. And then they're going to send it back to me and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still going to have to post it or they're going to have to post it but then it's going to have to be two-way authentication. It's going to be so fucking annoying. So I'm like it I might as well just sit down for the 30 minutes it takes me to make a reel rather than do this whole back and forth game with you to get it right. You know what I mean? So I worry
Absolutely.
about that. I worry about that.
For you, I don't really see a need for you to have
Yeah.
someone help. For
Mm-mm.
me, like I luckily, like there's one person in mind. She's a beast at creating reels. She can make them so quickly, and she knows my aesthetic. So she's
Mm.
someone that I can say, "Hey, can I put you on a retainer?" And you just like, mind you, I film content. Filming
Yeah.
is the easiest thing for me, right?
Yeah.
And then I can just send her a bunch of content from me, and she can put it together and make. Can you make me 10 reels a month, and I pay you this much? that's
Mhm.
just a game changer. And I haven't done reels. So I don't have
Yeah.
a standard. You know what I mean? For you,
Right.
absolutely not. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
I
I
can't.
couldn't even see it. I couldn't even see it. Nah.
In terms of social media etiquette, is there anything that you would want to touch on for
Ooh.
people listening?
Other than be kind. Ooh, I have one actually. And I actually feel like things have gotten a lot better with social media etiquette. I don't know if you feel this way because we've talked about this a lot in the past.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was a pandemic vibe that everyone was just always on their phones and sliding in DMs, but for me anyway, I haven't really had to check anyone lately.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's nice. But I would say my number one thing is like unsolicited advice, but especially like if I don't know you. If you're my friend, please tell me shit all day. If I don't know you, why are you? Well, shut up. I don't. What
Mm.
are you saying? What are you saying? And
Yeah.
so it's the for me what makes me cringe, and like this is just a thing, but with anyone, whether in real life or digitally, is when people who don't know me come at me to steer me in a certain direction. Because if you
Mm.
knew me, you would know my intention, and you also would know that you're not approaching this correctly. So yeah, it's which is I can related to this though is the social media. What do you call it? Like a social media parasocial complex. Have you heard of that?
No.
And it's definitely a thing for you. A parasocial complex is, I'm pretty sure
Wait,
that's what it is.
para or power?
Para. Let me Google it and make sure I'm saying the right phrase. Parasocial complex. I swear that's what it's called. Parasocial interaction. It's a psych. Okay, a parasocial interaction refers to a kind of psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their mediated encounters with performers. So, this parasocial complex was a big conversation last year because I think a lot of creators were fatigued because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's basically this notion that people think they know you. There are probably so many people who think they
Yes.
know Candace, right?
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
what gets me. It's when people come at me
Mm.
with an authority like they know me, and I literally have
Mm.
never spoken to them, but they've been following me for 5 years, and they feel that they can insert themselves. It doesn't make
Right.
me feel good.
Yeah, I can understand that. I feel like I don't mind when somebody comes to me with, I don't want to call it unsolicited advice, but just like if they approach it a certain way, I have no problem receiving whatever they want to say. So, for example, let's say I can't even think of an example where this has happened, but it's definitely happened where someone was like, "I'm sure you've done." Oh, with the dog, the dog was fake sick by this like terrible vet I had, and somebody else who worked in a vet place was like, "I'm sure that you have done absolutely everything. And please don't feel like you have to respond to me. I'm not waiting for a response. I just wanted to offer my 2 cents as a vet tech. I would do X, Y, Z, do those things in that order and make sure XYZ has happened. And then the next thing I would do is this. Please just take this all with a grain of salt. I'm so sorry for everything you're going through. Bye." Like it was not like, you got to do XYZ. And that's what I hate. So it's an
Yes.
approach. For me, it's an approach. Even people who know me, when the dog thing was happening, I had people be like, "Oh my God, but you have to get that done because my dog had this and it was awful. And then they died 3 months later." And it's like, that's
Come
exactly what I
on.
didn't need to hear. Like, thanks for nothing. So
Yep.
it's the approach for me. I also think I have no problem when people ask for links to like what I'm wearing, or you need the link for the podcast, whatever. Again, the approach. I don't like anyone saying, "Drop the recipe. Where's the recipe? Show me that." Like, it's when it comes across demanding, I'm sure they didn't mean it that way. But when you're just scrolling through your phone and all you're getting is, "Give me this, show me that," it's just like, ooh, who do you think you are? Like, I am a human being who has a lot going on. And if you could just ask in the same way you would ask me to my face, then I'll be happy to do it. But sometimes I'm just like, sometimes I won't answer. I'll be like, "Nope, you didn't ask nice enough." I'm
You
done.
said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. It's everything is in the approach. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, whether digitally or in real life, right? The approach is everything. The tone is
Hmm.
everything. Um, and yeah, I got. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, no,
Well,
no. You
no,
go.
I don't appreciate laziness. So, for example, I did like a whole series of stories promoting the Kenya. retreat I'm taking. And somebody's like, where can I find information? She responded to the story. Where can I find the link? And I'm looking at the story, and it's literally like a photo of an elephant, and then there's the link sticker right there that
Come
says click
on.
here for more information. I'm like, really? But I was like, you know what? Who knows who this person is? Maybe they've never interacted with a story before. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But like just look before you ask, you know?
Entirely. And that's something, even like if I'm working on something and I need something of yours, I'll go to your profile first. And if I don't see it, I'll hop on the website real quick, do a quick search. And then if I can't find it, I'm like, hey, Candace, where is this?
Oh,
Due
my favorite
diligence.
thing when you do that is you I know you do that. So then you're like, "Hey, do you have a photo? I looked everywhere, but I can't find it." I'm like, "You don't have to tell me that. I know you did."
Because I want to be clear that like we have a lot of things to do and I'm not trying to add to
No,
the plate
no.
in any way.
Never.
Um, you touched on something that used to be really triggering for me and it's gotten a lot. Well, you know what? I haven't gone shopping lately, so maybe that's why. But mine is, where'd you get this? Where'd you get that?
Mm.
That is, it irks me to my soul.
I don't mind it because it's an affiliate link. So this is just helping me make money. Like I don't mind it.
Right.
It's just the approach.
I don't mind it when it's a product, when it's a
Okay.
thing. I feel
Mhm.
like for me, it's when it's clothes or when it's I guess I'm just very sensitive, honestly, about how I adorn my body and being an
Mm.
individual. And
Mhm.
so, although it's like, Megan, if this person wears this shirt, you're not even gonna see them in this shirt. You know what I mean? No one
Right.
cares. Who cares? But it's just I don't know. It feels vampire-ish, like that you're sucking something from me and I don't know what it's something I
Wait,
talk to my therapist about often. It is a
I
recurring
have a
thing.
question.
Please.
If you have, let's say you're in a place where you are, let's say you're going to stay put for a year, and you have this great close knit friend group. Let's say you bought a shirt, it's a very unique shirt, and that friend, like one of your closest friends, like, where'd you get
No.
that shirt? Do you mind if I buy it? You're going to say
No.
no?
Yes. It happens all the time.
That's so funny. So my friend Sarah and I just had this conversation because she loves this ring. I love this ring. She didn't know I love this ring. And she's like, I think I'm gonna get it. And I was like, well, wait, will you be upset if I get it too? And she's like, no. Because we also got the same sneak. We have like two of the same pairs of sneakers. She's like, no, I love when we're twinning. It's so funny to me.
I love that you asked. And
Well, yeah, I'm not
I
gonna do it if she doesn't want me to.
It's like, you know what it is? It's one thing if, for example, like if you were just gonna buy the shoes, you know what I mean? Who cares? Like oh my god, we both love these shoes. We both love these same pair of Chucks. Let's get them. But something rubs me the wrong way when you see it on me and you think, oh, I gotta
Ah,
have that for myself. It's the same with,
got it.
when you wear some, you have like this super cute outfit, and the first thing someone says is, oh my God, I love your shirt. Where'd you get it? First of all, no, compliment the person. That shirt looks great on you. Like, I feel like that's so rude to me. It's very I. It's very,
Mm,
and then, yeah, it rubs me entirely the wrong way. And I know that there is something underlying. Again, my therapist and
interesting.
we talk about it often, and I don't know what it is, but there's
I
something
wonder
there.
I wonder if it's that you are so super self-aware and you take such great pride, as you should, in how you take care of yourself, how you shop, everything's so intentional. A lot of times when people don't know what to wear or like how to do their makeup or how to do their hair or whatever it is, sometimes seeing it on somebody else, you can like see picture the whole outfit and be like,
Yep.
"Oh, that's how I'm supposed to do that." Where'd you get that? Because I want to try it for myself because I just don't know myself enough to figure out how to put that outfit together or how to wear the headband the way you know what I mean,
Yeah,
things like that. I wonder if it has
definitely.
to if it goes back to like how you are so in tune with your body and some people just aren't.
Who knows, Candace? It stresses me out because I don't want to feel this way. It's like, even
Right.
like I've had people, which is I prefer, but like I've had people who have seen tattoos on me and have asked, and then like I have a friend, she
Oh
has the same
no.
tattoo as me, but I didn't know we would be
Oh.
friends. And so I told her
Oh.
in retrospect, like, yo, if I knew we were going to be friends, I would have never said yes. But also, thank you for asking. I've seen
Mm.
people get tattoos inspired by my tattoos, and it's a
Mhm.
very clear nod to my tattoos.
Mhm.
And I think that's what triggers me. And think, like you said, is back to the self-awareness and the self-confidence,
Mm,
is that when
mm,
I see something, I never think I want to copy it. I'm like, oh, how can I
mhm,
add my twist? If it was someone that I knew, like Bammy and I have matching like sweatsuits, and she
mhm.
had picked it out for me and then she bought it. I don't even get that vibe from her because I know she's gonna wear it in a whole different way than
Right.
I would wear it. It's the people who don't really have their own sense where that's why I think I
Yeah.
feel the vampire vibes. Like you're just gonna go take my whole outfit. And meanwhile, you're so dope. I want you to dress for your body. I want you to dress,
Mm,
for you. I want you to be able to feel confident in how you pick out your clothes. Maybe that's my next course, dress for your
yeah.
body type. I don't know, dress with
I love
confidence. But
it.
yeah, I'm working on it, guys. If you have any feedback, please slide in my DMs. Again, my therapist and I talk about this every Monday at 5 p.m. So if you have any
Amazing.
thoughts, I'd love to hear them.
Is there anything else you want to add about etiquette, your own personal or business use of social media?
No, I think other than just the usual, be yourself. Like that's
Mm,
the dopest thing you could ever be is yourself. I know it feels scary sometimes because you don't want to push people away, but when you push people away who aren't into your authentic self, it means that you're making space for the friends and the audience and the community, the customers that are attracted to your authentic and genuine self. So above all, with everything that you do in real life, digitally, just show up as you.
totally. 100% agree.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. So that is a wrap. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Made with Intention. We'll be back next Monday with our next episode. And until then, you can follow me, Candace, at YogaByCandace, and you can find Megan at Made in America. That's Maed, Made in America, on Instagram and TikTok. See you next time.